Well, today's Tuesday, October 15th. A nice sunny day out there today. Yep, I'm here in the flesh and blood. And contrary to some of my haters out there, I'm all in one piece. And I seem to be a little on the mend now. Got over all those shots I had to take for protection from this year's flu season. Sorry I didn't get a chance to do a lot of review of some of the channels out there. Sometimes I stop by for a few minutes just to see what they're up to. But if it makes you happy, I'll try to stop by a few. I did listen to Tori for a little while last night. Tori Jones Leatherworks, in case you're interested. She's a craftsman in leather, and she shows you how she's doing her work. And she talks at the same time, and I think it passes time quickly for her when she does it that way. Oh, as far as having something to talk about today, there's just not a whole lot to talk about. I turned the lights up in here a little bit so you can get a little better idea why I might prefer my garage out here for a place to put up my videos. I do have a lot of old equipment in here, and I've got some new stuff too. And I don't use a lot of the new stuff because sometimes the what you spend on something doesn't make it great. Let's put it that way. And so a lot of this stuff that I wasn't satisfied with the way it works. But I've got different types of mics. Believe it or not, the one I use most of the time, which is one like this, I've got 3 of these little mics. And they're the cheapest ones that I've got in my account. In real terms, I've got probably better than a dozen mics around here. And I've got all kinds of equipment. I can alter my voice if I want to. I can make it high, low, in between. I can make it sound like a chipmunk. And with some of you, I know you have a natural voice for different sounds that you have. I noticed, who is it? I think maybe it's, I'm trying to think. There's one of them out there that has kind of a girlish intones in his voice. He probably can't help it, but I have to make sure who it is. I have to actually see the person. If I just happen to just hear it, it does sound a little more feminine. And that might be because, well, the guy, I just might be a natural affliction for him, which is nothing wrong with that. With me, my voice this is just natural. I haven't added anything to it. It's not lowered. It's not raised. And if I wanted to echo, I just do that and put a little echo on it. There's a lot of different things you can do if you want to. The different boards I've got back there, you can play with them and do all kinds of stuff. I just choose not to. That doesn't say I won't sometime in the future. My bench back there, it's got all those little toys and stuff. And I know you guys have made fun of my quarters out here. I call it quarters because apparently you guys think I live in it. And I could. But to tell you the truth, I never did hook up toilet facilities in here. And so I would have to be running back and forth into my home if I wanted to use the bathroom or take a shower. Some of us do shower on a regular basis. let me see, some every 12, maybe 24. Uh, and I realize not everybody out there wants to shower. It shows up when you're walking down the aisle, or when you're in a store and people avoid the aisle that you're in. And it may work out pretty good for some of you that way. I know my haters, they hate more than just me. I think they hate the idea of somebody actually having facilities. They seem to talk about Miss Preston not having them. And you know what I finally figured out? It's funny in a way. But they don't know the different types of sewer systems, apparently. And so they look at that out there and they say, well, some of those were on her property already. Some of what? Are you talking about a septic system? She had a new septic system put in there. Yeah. And it's actually a sewer system. It is an approved system by the state. You know, and I'm sorry that you were so ignorant you don't know what it is out there. It's been on my channel different times. Ms. Preston has explained it different times. Two leaves in a pod. They have explained it different times. I think even Bruce, the legal out there, he has also explained it, that they have those proper things on there. She's been inspected by the Child Protective Service 27 times, and they have not had a problem with the sewer system. It's only the people who don't understand it. Now, I don't know what they call it in different countries, whether it's Australia or England or Ireland maybe, I don't know. Part of my background is Irish, and although we used an outhouse when I was young, we understood even back then in the 40s and 50s, we knew what a septic system was, or city sewer system. We knew all those things, even when we were young. And I guess I have a hard time understanding why there's so many people here don't understand what Miss Preston has on her property. And the fact that she's building a house, and you guys seem to have a problem with that. The structure of her house is much better than some of those people that have been going after her. So I look at that and I'm thinking, what are these people looking at? Are they just listening to somebody telling them that it's not right? I mean, it's not complete yet. I suppose you think you can snap your fingers like that and it's going to happen. Is that what you think? Okay, I guess you're all magicians out there. Oh, I forgot about that. There is somebody that they like these people that they're seers. They think, they squash their eyes up, and they get these feelings, and they can tell you what's going on. Good luck with that. You know what I do? If I'm worried about something, and I've had other people out there tell me, said, well, matter of fact, there was one said something about the good Lord had told her to stay away from me or something to that effect. And I'm thinking, wow, maybe we don't know the same Lord. Mine is a faith-based religion. It's called Christian religion, and it served me very well, and I'm very comfortable in that. I'm not sure who you pray to that they told you to shy away or stay away from me, that I don't have Christ in my heart. It's unfortunate that you believe that, but you know something? This is a place where I do allow certain opinions, and I try to not shorten it up too bad unless you're a knucklehead. You're welcome to express it. You know, it's unfortunate that you lie about your affiliation with the Lord, but that's something between you and the Lord, and you don't have to tell me about it. I understand. As far as wearing it on your sleeve, it's not always necessary to do that. People will know by your actions if you're Christian or not. And you don't have to be a Christian to be a good person either. So I won't go all that far to say you have to be organized religion to have your own beliefs. It can be a very personal thing between you and your faith. And some people have more faith in the almighty dollar. And you can tell those two people, those people as well, they worry about every nickel. Matter of fact, on here, they probably worry about every sub coming and going. I had somebody on there say, no, he's lost a lot of his subs. Well, quite frankly, the subs I lost were never mine. And most of you realize that too. Most of them dance to a tune of somebody else out there. And I ended up with some of them because I was on the channel and I was recommended by the creators of those channel that they tried to boost my channel, which is fine. I realized some of them were not going to stick with me because I'm not that person. And whether it was never a contest of who is going to be the better person or the one you want to listen to. Quite frankly, I don't mind listening to the guy that plugged my channel for me that said, go over there and sub to Ray. I have no complaints about him. Matter of fact, he reminds me of a guy named, a little bit like Trey Gowdy. He kind of looks like him. And Trey Gowdy is like a hero for me. He's out there in the Carolinas. He actually was a representative in our government at one time. I thought he was probably one of the best ones. He decided to get out of it. But Trey Gowdy is probably the most honest person I ever met in my life. Or I haven't met him, but that I know. I shouldn't use that met. It feels like I know him because I've seen so many of his speeches, and he has a channel, a YouTube channel. I don't think he'd ever get mixed up in anything like this, okay? Regardless, it's not in his wheelhouse. He's not doing that. He is a lawyer, and he pursues his practice. He gets asked a lot of times about national politics, and answers it very straightforward. And I think the reason he got out because politics, quite frankly, is hard for an honest person to sit in one of those seats and listen to all the BS. And I don't care what party you belong to, a lot of that stuff is BS. And quite frankly, on here, there's just as much probably. I know all my words get picked apart. There's words out there apparently I can't remember. I don't know why. Some people have the audacity to put words in my mouth, and I don't know why they do that. Most time when they do it, I warn them, and if they don't follow through, I just say, goodbye. More than likely, once I've said something about it, they say goodbye themselves. They don't have to have any help out the door. So, and there's no big problem. Like I say, there's a lot of them have said goodbye, Ray, because they didn't agree with something I said. And, something that's fine. I never hid the fact that I will express my opinion on you. Never did. Nope. I will give you somebody else's opinion from time to time, especially if it is borderline to what I'm trying to do as well. Because why not? If somebody believes the same way that you do, why not give them a plug if you can? That's human nature, and it's fair. And I've never worried about sharing my channel with somebody. That's what it's out there for. I don't like it if it's denatured in some way. That's not fair to me as a creator. But then there's people out there that they love to tear things apart. The guy that would go out there and tear the wheels off my car and put wheels on it that never meant, and they don't fit right, and they rub and they make it look stupid. Well, those are the kind of people that will come into your channel, and take pieces here and there and re-put it back together and put it out there and say, hey, look at this. Okay. But I don't do that, and I'm not going to do that. Now, there is some ways of taking a channel and saying, look, this person believes, and so they give the excerpts from it, and they don't slant it in any way. They put the real deal up there, and that's called news. And you see it on the different channels at night on your TV. And for most of the part, even though it may be a slanted view, it is a view intact of what they actually did during an interview or what they got off in the UPI across the country. I have noticed that we do have a lot of naysayers from other countries that like to put their foot out there in the door and act as if they're experts. And sometimes I get a kick out of it. Sometimes I hate to say what they really are, because I don't want to lower myself into a name-calling contest. I'm the subject of enough of them as it is. And I guess if you don't have a little tolerance, you don't belong on here, right? Now, some people don't understand vocabulary very well. And that's okay too. You don't have to be a college graduate or even a high school graduate to understand basic American language. Now, everybody claims that our language is English. It is not English. It is American. It is as different as any dialect over in Europe. So, when you go to different countries, depending on what part of the country you're from, or in the case of England, they have different classes. Believe me, there is different classes there that are carryovers from way back a long time ago, centuries. And people have the tendency to follow that class, and with royalties being at the very top. And I have a lot of respect for that type of classification. I really thought that Queen Elizabeth was one of the best leaders in the entire world. I appreciated her. I thought she was a grand woman, and would never understand why some of them would talk about her in any other manner. And but I did see some of her own country men and women reach out and disparage some of the things that she did. I've never done that. England is the motherland of the United States. Nobody can deny that, even though we're made up of all the different races and cultures of the world. We're one of the youngest nations out there, not the youngest, but one of them. And although our system has a lot of kinks and things that are being worked out over the years, I can only hope that our freedoms will stand up and allow us to do things like this on here. And I fight for those freedoms as much as I can. And part of my opinion comes from those very things. And we all have our way of protecting it. In the very beginning, in my early years, I did mine by standing up and doing my time in the military. And actually it worked out pretty good. I was able to get a little better education while I was in there. And I was naive when I went in the service. I wasn't when I came out. I understood a lot of things that I never even dreamed of when I went in. And part of that, growing up in the service, made me realize how big the world was out there. And no, I never did believe that it was flat. A lot of you out there probably think that because the way I was raised when I was young, I probably believed it was flat. I'm going to tell you, when I was very young, I wondered why the water was in place. But I understood. I loved science, and I loved biology. So that was my favorite subjects, and they were till forever. I still I love the great outdoors and all the things that it has to offer, including the animals and plants, and getting out there and exploring it. As old as I am, there's always something new to learn. And yes, I still learn a few things. Senility don't keep you from learning. It just means that the library might be full and you might have to exchange a few books out. That's what it really means. Let's see, is there a better way to explain it? Nah, if you're younger than I am, you wouldn't understand anyway. You see, as you progress through the ages, the realization of where you've been, you have to sit down and think about it a little bit. And most people, and myself included, planned out a lot of my life ahead of time and then set goals and got there. And I guess that would be one of the reasons that I'm kind of a happy person in general, and why I don't particularly care about habits of picking on people, because they maybe didn't have the opportunities that I did along the way. And therefore, they're having to work harder to get to some of the goals that I had set for myself. But I never intended to make these goals your goals. I never did. And I wouldn't expect it, because everybody is happier with their different situations. And what I've found over the years is, if you have a roof over your head and food on the table, and you have a lifelong partner, as I have, my wife is my partner, you should be very happy in life and with yourself and what you've done. And the money is secondary to all that, although the money will provide the different amounts. But it won't provide the love two people have for each other. It can't do that. You might buy what you think is, but you won't get that. I was as happy as a child with very little in a very small home as I actually am in present day. And the difference was, we had 3 generations right there in the house. And there's been times when, there was actually 4 generations there when all of us brought our children home to that little house. And we never minded it. And you could say, well, you didn't know any difference, and part of that would be true. But we could see what other people had. But we were taught not to get jealous of it. Now, a lot of you out there have attacked me for the way I believe, and you don't think I'm happy, and I'm looking for something else, and I'm writing the coattails of somebody else. None of that is really true. I was interested in looking at things, so I go out and look at it. I'm authorized to have an opinion, and I share it freely, and you don't have to listen to it. That's the beauty part about living here in this country. If you don't like what I'm talking about, you can just back off. If you want to make yourself miserable, you can hate me for my opinion. But all that's going to do is make you feel worse, much worse than I do about me. I will tell you, some of you haters out there, you're not the first people that ever tried to throw a rock at me. I mean, my goodness. When you grow up, you have to learn how to accept things that you can't change. And so you just move out of the way if you can. And if you live in a country where you don't have the same freedoms I can, it must suck. But I can't change the rules you have over there. And there's a lot of times I've wondered why the United States has tried to change some of those rules in other countries. The culture that may have been there for hundreds or thousands of years are not going to change easily, and you can only lead by example if you want people to follow. And I understand, yes, that some people follow and they like Kool-Aid. Well, if they do, let them drink it. I don't care. Be what you are. Be the best that you can. That's the idea. So with that, I'll probably let you go. I've given you my little lecture today, and maybe you'll blow up the internet trying to throw rocks at me or whatever you're going to do. Whatever trips your trigger out there, just do it. And yeah, I understand how upset you get. Yeah. Here, listen, I'll tell you what. If you have even 1/10 the amount of faith I have in my Lord, all you have to do is get down on your knees and pray that all the burdens of having to listen to me, or you don't like my rhetoric, be removed from your mind forever, and the Lord will probably help you out. My goodness. I'm not asking you not to go out and get help for yourself. Oh, Lord help you. Don't get too upset. kind of smile and have a good time out there while you're doing it. And try to be yourself. Don't try to knock somebody else down to make yourself look bigger. Holy mackerel. You ought to be more like some of these people that I followed on the internet. They're trying to be helpful and help people out. You don't have to tear somebody down to assist others. And yes, I've pointed out plenty of faults with people along the way. It's one of the many tools, I guess. But I don't get so upset when it doesn't work. I know that the best thing I can do, and you guys have told me over and over, why don't you go out there, you put your money where your mouth is. Why don't you go out there and help that person out? Now, some of you have suggested I put those people in my house. Well, I have no intent of doing that. I mean, I like my privacy. My wife and I are very happy with the way things are, and we're not going to change it too quickly. And no, my wife don't chase me out here. The video I put up yesterday, my wife was here for part of it right here. And my pup was right here. So, for you guys that think I've been kicked out of the house and you feel sorry for me, you don't have to. And there again, if you really think that I'm being hurt that bad, go to the Lord, tell him to help me out. I mean, I love to have somebody pray for me. And, there's times where I need it. And plenty of people have prayed for me over the years. I think I'm alive because somebody was praying out there for me. And between the good Lord and those prayers, I'm still here. And I don't plan to leave anytime soon. But if it happens, so what? Life is what it is. The circle of life is just it. And when we get down there and we meet the end where we began, that's the circle of life. And we know we're going to start a new one called eternity. So there you go. It's all explained quick. With that, I'm going to let you go and listen. Don't get too upset. All it does is take away from yourself. If you go to a clerk the next time you're in the store and tell them how happy you are with the services they provided and get that smile, you'd be surprised how much that smile helps that person through the day. It'll also make you feel good too. Just try it a little bit. And with that, I'm going to call it a day. And yes, I will pray for you. Thank you so much if you pray for me too.